Coming up on 5 Minute News. Bomb kills hundreds at Gaza hospital. Hamas and Israel trade blame. Republicans reject insurrectionist Jim Jordan for House Speaker. And Ukraine uses US long-range missiles against Russian forces for the first time. It's Wednesday, October 18. I'm Anthony Davis. A massive blast rocked Gaza City Hospital, packed with wounded and other Palestinians seeking shelter yesterday, killing hundreds of people, the Hamas-run health ministry said. Hamas blamed an Israeli airstrike, while the Israeli military blamed a rocket misfired by other Palestinian militants. At least 500 people were killed. As rage spread through the region because of the hospital carnage, and with President Joe Biden heading to the Middle East in hopes of stopping the war from spreading, Jordan's foreign minister said his country cancelled a regional summit scheduled for today in Amman, where Biden was to meet with Jordan's King Abdullah, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The war between Israel and Hamas was pushing the region to the brink, Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi told state-run television. He said Jordan would host the summit only when everyone had agreed its purpose would be to stop the war, respect the humanity of the Palestinians, and deliver the aid they deserve. Biden will now only visit Israel, a White House official said. The explosion at the Al-Ali hospital left gruesome scenes. Video showed fire engulfing the building and the hospital grounds strewn with bodies, many of them young children. The grass around them was strewn with blankets, school backpacks, and other belongings. The bloodshed unfolded as the US tried to convince Israel to allow the delivery of supplies to desperate civilians, aid groups and hospitals in the tiny Gaza Strip, which has been under a complete siege since Hamas's rampage in southern Israel last week. Hundreds of thousands of increasingly desperate people were searching for bread and water. Signaling more turmoil ahead, Republicans rejected Representative Jim Jordan for House Speaker on a first ballot yesterday as a surprising 20 holdouts denied the hard-charging ally of Donald Trump the GOP majority needed to seize the gavel. Additional voting was postponed as the House hit a standstill, stuck while Jordan works to shore up support from Republican colleagues to replace the ousted Kevin McCarthy for the job. Reluctant Republicans are refusing to give Jordan their votes, viewing the Ohio congressman as too extreme for the powerful position of House Speaker, second in line to the presidency. Next votes are expected later today. "We're going to keep working," Jordan said at the Capitol as evening fell. It's been 2 weeks of angry Republican infighting since McCarthy's sudden removal by hardliners who are now within reach of a central seat of U.S. power. The vote for House Speaker, once a formality in Congress, has devolved into another bitter political showdown. Jordan said after the first vote that he was not surprised and expected to do better in the next round. But the afternoon dragged on with no further votes. "We feel confident," he said, ducking into a leadership office. The tally, with 200 Republicans voting for Jordan and 212 for the Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York, left no candidate with a clear majority, as 20 Republicans voted for someone else. With Republicans in majority control, Jordan must pick up most of his GOP foes to win. The holdouts are a mix of pragmatists ranging from seasoned legislators and committee chairs worried about governing to newer lawmakers from districts where voters back home prefer President Joe Biden to disgraced former President Donald Trump. The United States has quietly delivered a small number of long-range ballistic missiles that Ukraine said it urgently needed and that President Joe Biden promised last month. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed, saying they were used on the battlefield against Russia and executed very accurately. "Today I express special gratitude to the United States," Zelensky said in his evening address, adding that the missiles have proven themselves. The US has refused to discuss the delivery publicly, but officials familiar with the move also confirmed it earlier in the day. Fewer than a dozen of the missiles got into Ukraine within the last few days. Their arrival at the war front gives Ukraine a critical ability to strike Russian targets that are further away, allowing Ukrainian forces to stay safely out of range. Ukraine's Special Operations Forces claimed that a nighttime attack on targets in eastern and southern Ukraine destroyed 9 Russian helicopters and other military equipment and personnel at 2 airfields in Russia-occupied regions. Ukrainian forces want to use the missiles to help fuel their counter-offensive as it heads into the muddy and colder winter months, enabling troops to strike behind Russian lines while staying out of firing range. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.